Hi everyone, this is Steve Miley, the market chartist for FX Explained with our regular weekly MacroWatch update. This is for the week commencing the 26th of April 2021. US dollar weakens, stock averages stay firm. So let's kick off with the macroeconomic and geopolitical developments over the past week. Well, US President Biden announced a potentially significant increase in capital gains tax. This had a negative impact on riskier assets, with stock indices and stocks in the US selling off, and also globally. The Bank of Canada announced a tapering of their bond buying program and moved up the timeline for a possible interest rate hike. This saw a positive move in the Canadian dollar, particularly versus the US dollar, with USD CAD going lower. We're going to take a look at that shortly as we move through. And then also it's heightened the risk in here for global central banks potentially to start looking at a removal of the super easy monetary policy we've had in place since the COVID pandemic. US earnings seasons continues with mostly positive results over the past week, though Netflix did miss expectations of analysts on new subscribers, seeing a significant sell-off in Netflix and also new media stocks. The European vaccine rollout continues to improve, although it still lags behind the US and the UK, which continue at a very strong pace. With respect to lockdown, European nations have in some places started to lift lockdown measures, although in some nations the concerns and cases remain elevated. So let's take a look at the global financial market developments over the past week ending the 23rd of April. Well, the S&P 500 was sideways for most of the week, but then did hit another new record high on Friday. And European stock averages remained resilient and despite dipping lower did rebound in the second part of the week and hovering at the record high here for the DAX, the German DAX index. US 10-year yields continued to move lower in here and with risk of a further push towards that 1.50 level. And the US dollar continues to weaken with US yields. US dollar index here moving to another multi-week low. And here we highlight the negative tone for the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar. The Canadian dollar strengthening significantly on Wednesday after that more hawkish tone from the Bank of Canada. On the commodity front, gold stays strong as the US dollar weakens. And oil, although set back earlier in the week, did manage to rebound towards the late part of the week and with a consolidation theme in here at the moment with an upside bias. And copper has moved very, very close to the late February multi-cycle peak, the multi-year peak there from late February, and poised to make a more bullish breakout above that peak going into this week coming. So let's take a look at the week ahead, the week commencing the 26th of April 2021. Well, as ever, we're monitoring COVID cases, hospitalisations and deaths very much in the spotlight, particularly in Europe. We're watching out for the lockdown easings in Europe. And on the central bank side, we have the Bank of Japan on Tuesday, the Fed on Wednesday, and Christine Lagarde from the ECB also speaking on Wednesday. On the earnings side, we get Tesla, Microsoft, Google, Apple, Facebook, Boeing, Amazon, and ExxonMobil all of this week. On the macroeconomic data front, we get German IFO Business Climate Survey Monday and then US durable goods orders. We get that BOJ interest rate decision statement on Tuesday. There's an OPEC Plus meeting Wednesday, although little expected. Australian CPI on Wednesday also. And then there's that ECB President Lagarde speaking. Canadian retail sales then and the FOMC interest rate decision and statement. On Thursday brings German unemployment and CPI. And we also get US GDP, gross domestic product. And the week rounds off with Chinese Purchasing Managers Index data, German GDP, EU GDP, and the US personal consumption expenditure data. I'm going to wish you all a great trading week. Stay safe out there. And don't forget to like us on our YouTube channel and subscribe. So traders, don't forget to catch us on the next FX Explained MacroWatch and all the great content on fxexplained.co.uk.